It appears as though the NBA MVP is down to two people. You have candidate number one. Cut number 12 here. Ooh, I think he might be out.
Good.
Let's go to cut number 12. Here is candidate number one.
Right side Porter, head fake on the three, back over to Jokic. Jokic hands it off to Holiday, back over to Jokic, in a deep three. Yes! Oh, Nikola Jokic from way downtown.
Yeah. Finally giving Michael Porter Jr. his credit, Kevin. That's like it.
Yeah. He's up for MVP.
Jamal Murray.
So you're saying it was the other guy in the highlight? I heard him say Porter.
Nikola Jokic. So Giannis is 5, Tatum's 4, Shea's 3, but there's starting to be a big gap between 1 and 2. And that would mean it's down to Jokic and cut number 13, Luka.
You're not the Lone Ranger in that regard. Luka has done this to many teams this year. What?
I'm getting ready to leave, man.
No, you got to stay. You need to stay. You don't want to leave.
Was that the 20-foot finger roll thing?
When you make Mark Followell do what he just did when he screams what like that, like you've done something good, because he doesn't act shocked for no reason.
What?
Yeah. That is a genuine, like, I can't believe what just happened before my eyes.
From the 715, you mean and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka in this list. Well, I don't make the betting odds yet.
Have you looked, by the way? I saw a thing on Twitter yesterday where somebody showed a video of Shai's three-pointer to win the game in New York.
It was awesome.
And it was great in a 19-point effort by him. And he's played a lot of good defense. His assist and rebound numbers are a lot lower than the other two candidates. But then I went and I don't do this typically, but I went to read the comments. And every comment, because the tweet said something along the lines of Shai's MVP, you know it. And then everything under there was like
mostly just Kendrick Perkins.
But it was like he can't be, because Luka and Jokic are there. Like every person was like, are you forgetting about Luka? Are you forgetting about this? And I was very surprised to see how many people were all about Luka on this too. Like, they're starting to see it. Last week, Kevin, during the combo platter, I said Luka's winning the MVP.
Ooh.
That was my
remember
statement.
that.
And
you should put some money down on that.
I should have put money on it then, because right now I think it's 5-1.
Yeah.
Sorry to break your.
No.
But you have to put 8 down to win $1 on Jokic. Is that right?
It's closer to about 7 now,
okay.
But still, it's minus 700 for Jokic, plus 500, give or take. There's a little variances along the way for Luka. So
what's Scoot's odds right now? Did he score his 100 last night or no?
You know what? I didn't look at that box score.
Okay,
I assume we would have heard about it
Gotcha.
if that was in fact the case.
I don't know. You had women's basketball, Rangers.
There's a lot going on.
Do you think they would have just left out that Scoot Henderson
game.
scored 100?
There was a no-hitter thrown last night.
Yeah,
the earliest no-hitter ever.
There's no way.
Yeah, so there was two.
Nobody knows what old Scooty did.
All right, I'm going to assume he did not score 100 points. So Jokic is still a very sizable favorite over Luka. I wanted to kind of dive into the numbers and the circumstances and see if you guys think that is justified, or if you think perhaps Luka should be the favorite. Now, the biggest thing that I think is working in Luka's favor, you look at where the team was at this point last year. Compared to last year, the Nuggets are 1 game better than they were last year at this point.
Wow.
The Mavericks
That's actually impressive.
are 9 games better.
Really?
Than they were
in
at
your
this
face,
point.
Jokic.
They stunk at this point last year.
They
though.
absolutely
they had given up. Did they lose their last 20 straight? I feel like they did, but they looked like they had just said, "Okay, we don't know how to play basketball anymore."
I was on radio this morning in San Francisco.
What?
Big time. And they're like, "How surprised are you that Kyrie and Luka are working together?" And I said, "Surprise is maybe too strong of a word, but." They really are working great together. And I still think for a lot of the national media or following your own team, they're like, this can't work. And it won't work. It is working. I don't know if it's going to work the whole 3-year contract of Kyrie. I don't know. But it's really working right now. And it's been working really most of all season.
And that's sometimes I wonder, and I know Jamal Murray is an excellent basketball player. I do kind of wonder sometimes if Kyrie and his greatness siphons off some folks from saying Luka's the MVP as opposed to I think he's like top 5.
I don't think he should.
Well, I will say this, which can be tough. Kyrie's making some really big fourth quarter clutch.
That is true.
And so I don't know. So I don't know if, like, let's just say tonight's game, I don't think it's nationally televised, is it? Because it's a makeup game because of the death of the Golden State Warrior.
It is on TNT, I believe.
Oh, it's okay. So that being said, if let's just say Kyrie the last 2 minutes hits 2 big shots to win this game, I do think that people won't dog on Luka, but Luka kind of, I don't want him to. I don't care who makes it, to be honest. But it kind of, for MVP on a nationally televised game, would have to be like Luka really the last 2 major possessions did these awesome things, if that makes sense, try to catch Jokic. Because obviously there is a big discrepancy in the 2 guys and where their odds are at.
And some people,
we just need, like you said, Kendrick Perkins to go on and say Jokic doesn't deserve it. This dude does. But
he wouldn't be voting for Luka.
I think he would. I actually do think he would. He loves Luka.
So
I mean, he really legitimately does.
Thoughts from last year?
I don't know.
All right. Let's go to some of the other numbers because people might be like, well, how's Luka not first? He's had an incredible season. Absolutely. He's averaging 34 points a game. Jokic, 26 points a game. So advantage Luka in a pretty big way. Assists per game, 9.8 for Luka, 9 for Jokic. So still advantage Luka, though really close. But this oddly in a way feels like an advantage for Jokic just because Luka's razzle-dazzle passer. Everybody knows how great he is. And then you're like, oh, but Jokic is 3rd in the league in assists and Luka's 2nd. That feels like an odd advantage for Jokic.
It's behind Luka, though.
That is true.
Yeah,
it's so tough because I think before the trades, for the most part, Luka's not in this conversation at all. And so how much, I would wonder, if you're voting, this is my question to you, Kevin and Corey, how much do you give that for about the first 45 games, there wasn't really a contest between Jokic and Luka. And now for the last, 30 games, you would say Luka has maybe outplayed Jokic. I'm just throwing it out there. So how much do you take a whole season and go for the first half approximately this wasn't competitive?
So you're telling me, and I don't mean it as in the joke you're telling me, but you're basically saying the team that was the championship team last year was playing like a better team than Luka's team this year. Because Luka's numbers were still there. All his numbers were there, but they weren't winning. So you're saying that the championship team was a better team. And that's the truth. But then finally Luka gets a better team and he's playing better.
I guess.
So that, it is that point of you have to admit that Jokic had a better team from the championship all the way to this point until Luka got better players around him.
I agree with that.
Luka was dragging players with him to get to things.
I guess the counter would then still be the Nuggets are still way better than the Mavericks.
I guess what I would look at real quick and say,
Jamal Murray was out. There's a few things.
Luka was still complaining a lot. Luka was not trying on defense quite a bit. And now he is. Like, all of those things, like, this is what makes him now the MVP of the NBA right now, I think. Yep. And it's tough to say better than Jokic. But I'm like, man, like, if he does this for a whole season, he'll blow away the competition. Like, it won't even be, it'll get to, I hate saying this, it'll kind of get to the LeBron, Michael Jordan status. If he engages for approximately, let's say, 70 of the 82 games. I guess he's going to miss some games. There's going to be sit out, injury, whatever. But like, if he was like this, these last about 15 games, if he did this for a whole season, and I'm not saying has to put up these exact numbers, but like this engaged defensively, this engaged as a teammate, it's a blowout. He would be minus 1,500 right now to win the MVP if he takes this energy, this attitude, this focus throughout a season.
Yeah, and I
don't win 60 games.
I don't know how difficult it was to have that energy and all that whenever he knew he had inferior players with him. I mean, like,
I could see that.
His frustration goes up a lot very quickly.
When Danny Green was telling, because he was like, I can't play with this. When Danny Green's telling us, look, Cleaver and Dwight Powell, those are good players. We all were like, all right, you're being nice. I appreciate that and everything, but like, you don't have to say that. We know what we see. And we see the difference right now. I mean, when Derek Lively stepped on the court, we saw the difference immediately. But Derek Lively, wasn't on the court long enough because of minutes and fouls, and he got injured frequently. So there were lots of problems there. I will also go to this. When the last time that Denver and Dallas matched up, what was the outcome of that game? Mavericks
it was a win, yeah. Great Sunday win, right?
And after the game, and I think both teams were trying in that game.
For sure.
It didn't look like a game where Denver was just like, we just rolled the ball out there, guys. After that game, Jokic looks into the microphone and says he's the MVP. I mean, like, he said that dude right there is.
He probably just doesn't want a press conference and have to deal with it.
He probably
I could see that,
he probably
too,
doesn't.
yeah.
And I'm homering the crap out of this for sure.
I don't
but
think
I also
so,
think
though.
that I also think there are plenty of legitimacy behind this.
And first of all, I just want to, anybody who says that, I don't think you're homering it up because he would finish at worst third and probably second for MVP. So I think that discounts any idea of homering it up. I just think I'm surprised. In my mind, the odds should be closer to, let's say, even Jokic minus 300 and Luka plus 250. Like, kind of cut them in half for both sides. Because I keep thinking about it in terms of a race where Luka has definitely gained ground, but like you were saying, that lead was so overwhelming that he's going to finish with a crazy like backstretch time or whatever if you're using the race idea, but he's still going to lose. And I know if you want to go to player efficiency rating, Luka is 4th in the league with a 28.3, whereas Jokic is number 1 with a 30.9, and Giannis, Shea, the usual suspects are all in the mix. So you get a good idea of like where these candidates come from.
In the 806, watching Jokic play is like watching a Golden Girls marathon. It's entertaining, but they move so slow it seems like you're watching it at half speed.
I think I know this is going to sound weird because I'm not saying that Jokic is consistently trick effing people like Mike's coach said, but there are times when he moves at a pace and then all of a sudden does this thing really quick that you're like, well, crap, I didn't know he could do that.
Yeah, it happens.
We're the KNC masterpiece.
These two MVP candidates are really proving speed is necessary in the NBA wrong. Like Burnsy is like, hey, you don't have to be faster to be able to jump to be good in this league.
Yeah,
be a good passer.
you can make it happen.